All right, here we go again. Today we're going to be talking about the KW app. How can you not love that? That's like KW's secret weapon. That and Facebook lead ads, by far.
Yeah.
Those two are the things that rise to the top, right, Blake?
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's our secret sauce on the consumer side.
I love it. I love it. All right, well, let's get right into it. Let's get going, man. Let's dive right into it. Do you want to share the command side of this on desktop, or do you want to share the KW app, or do you want to do both?
So I'm trying to do a little bit of both, right? But I wanted to start by showing kind of some new things about the KW app, right? A little refresher course for maybe those that haven't seen it, but showing off a couple new features that we could use, and then showing on the command side, kind of what we can do to implement that, right? And then if I was going to do kind of a wild card here. I have a way we can make a custom kind of domain for our landing page, right? I've had a lot of questions about customizing that app URL, so I want to talk about that a little bit.
I love that. All right, I want to say hi to Tara on the other side here on Command Your Conversion Facebook page. What's up, Tara?
All right, perfect. I'm going to share. Let's go into share and jump into the KW app itself, right?
Favorite thing here.
As always, right, in the App Store, KW buy and sell real estate. Not to be confused with the Blue Kelly app, right? We're looking for the home search side. So we're going to take a look at this and open it up, all right? And then allow it to send us notifications. And then here's the new update. Okay, so if this is our first time using the app, we actually get like a little intro here. So, kind of telling us what the house hunting app can do, right? Looking for, different homes, talking about how we're connecting up directly to a Keller Williams agent. Kind of going over this, concept of a guide, right? Kind of leading our clients through the buying and selling transactions.
Love it. Dude, this is what the consumer is seeing.
Yes.
So that it becomes a lot clearer as to what this is all about, which I love.
Exactly it, right? It's a lot more of an intro, and it's key. And so once we go through all of that, right, we're then prompted to sign up, log in. And so now if I hit login here, do you think I could use my KW login here?
If you use your KW login here, you will be stuck here for the rest of your life.
It's not going to work, right?
Correct. And while you're logging on, I have an answer. Tracy has a really great question.
Let's hear it.
It says, I'd like to hear your thoughts on one or two super compelling reasons a consumer would switch from Zillow or Redfin app. Tracy, amazing question, which we will show you exactly why this app has superior things to both of those apps. Now, I'm not saying that those apps don't work and they're not great, which I love, by the way. I love the Redfin app. The Zillow app, not so much. Redfin app, yes, I love. But there's some cool things you're going to see here that you'll be like, oh, we will never find that on Redfin. So stay tuned. Give us about 15 minutes. You'll see it.
Exactly. And honestly, I think one of the most key reasons that we can have people use our app, right, is the connection with the agent. Okay, so this is what we're going to do right now. So we're opening up our KW app. We have this amazing search functionality. But when I hit more here, right, I can actually find my KW agent and link up with them directly. So, I just type in the name here. There we go. Pull up her page, say get in touch and confirm. And now I have this kind of locked in as my agent, right? I have Tatiana Dior-Venetian kind of linked to this KW app now.
And that's if I wanted to explain this part. That's if you didn't send your client the link, right? Because if you send them your link, you'll automatically appear there. There's no worries. Here's where, if for any reason your client already has this and they don't have an agent assigned, or for some reason they don't have an agent assigned, you just have to take them through that process and say, hey, pick me.
That's exactly it, right? We've made it as simple as possible. So if we're using our custom URLs through command, right, this is already hooked up. But with this connection now, we can go through and as we're searching for homes, adding things to collections, creating safe searches, and we're able to kind of see all of that activity on our side through command.
You got it.
And so,
all right, let's dig into this a little deeper when we're looking at these little areas, right? Because I think that's where we stand out.
absolutely right, and that's what it is. It's these neighborhood searches. So rather than searching, by cities or zip codes, we're going hyper local here, right down to a neighborhood level. So these boundaries that have been set out by the app Nextdoor, right? They kind of provide these little pockets where we can click on WeHo City, Mid-City North.
There you go.
Let's click on that neighborhood there. Boom. And then we see insights, like stats for average days on market, average home price.
This is what sets us apart right here.
That's exactly it, right? So rather than looking at statistics on a large level like Los Angeles, right, that's probably not going to be indicative of your exact little area. So this kind of dives in deeper and provides more insight. And then, of course, we scroll down here and then we have a great kind of window into a home search. So we see all the homes that are for sale in that specific neighborhood.
All right, so with this, this is what sets us apart from Redfin or Zillow, because Keller Williams has a contract with Nextdoor that allows us to get that deeper information. So when you're looking at a specific area, right, it's super niche, and this is what people really want. They want to say, well, what about this neighborhood, and how does this stand out versus this other neighborhood, right? And that's the key, because it's blocking that out specifically and giving you the averages, average price per square foot, average home price, days on market, and it even tells you what sold recently. So it gives you a lot of information here that you won't find anywhere else per the neighborhood. That's powerful, I think.
100%, right? It's just such a different way to search for homes. And it's really kind of a key piece of this value proposition that we have as KW agents.
Yeah, and can you show people how you did that? Because some people are asking, well, how'd you make that appear? Where did you go?
Definitely, right. And so when we're looking at the homes, we see kind of all the exact homes for sale. As we zoom in, we start to see these neighborhood boundaries kind of take shape here. And so if we click on the name of any one of these neighborhoods, right? So let's go click on WeHo Eastside Romaine. We then see that little neighborhood snapshot for that specific area. Right, and then when this loads up, we're gonna have all the statistics for sold prices and the homes for sale.
Dude, that's beautiful to me.
This is really unique, right? And I've made this switch myself. I've kind of, whenever I'm pulling up homes, it's the KW app now. This is one out for me.
And some areas though the areas are a lot longer, right? So it's not like right here when you're in Hollywood, the areas are so compact. But dude, go to my favorite place in Malibu.
I got you. Yeah.
Go to Point Dume, that little peninsula. There we go, right there to the left of it. Now zoom out or zoom in, however you want, and then or zoom in, whatever you want there, searching for homes. If you start seeing there, the areas that are blue are going to be a lot bigger. So the one to the left is going to be really long. You see that one?
Exactly. Yeah, this one from Malibu here.
Yeah, and that's just because that's West Malibu, right? Malibu is so long, and in some areas, depending where you're at, that's how it's going to be broken up, right?
Exactly right. Yeah, it's different boundaries for whatever Nextdoor has set out, but take a look and kind of look at the areas that you focus on the most.
So here's the challenge, because I know some of you are saying, well, these areas are all weird. I don't understand what's happening. Why are my areas kind of like convoluted? How come it cuts one area in half? Or it's different throughout the whole nation. And when Gary and I talked yesterday, I actually brought this up because we were talking about technology, and we sat there and I said, well, Gary, how are we going to get better information so that we can go deeper with the MLSs and we can go deeper with Nextdoor? He's like, well, the challenge is that some of the information that we get isn't necessarily just from next door. It's also from the MLSs, and the MLSs, they change up so quickly, and more importantly, they already have the wrong data to start. So what we're trying to do, and this is future, we're trying to get one person per state, because each state has different MLS rules, right? So let's say I choose Blake for California and they choose somebody else for Texas. And this way you have now somebody that's going in and making sure that every day this is getting fixed and looking at correctly. But look, this is the long-term thing. The good thing is we've got this working, it's working well, right? And it looks beautiful. So there are some things that they're going to be working on, obviously. One question here by Jacob. I'm just going to call you Jacob, bro. I apologize because I think I'm pronouncing your name completely wrong when I say Jacobus. But when I search for one particular address, I don't get a result. It only gives me the area. What's up with that, Blake?
Let's see. So when you search for it, it should be on that list there. Maybe let's get in touch after so I can see what you mean by that.
Yeah, hit up Blake. You can do that. Now, Christy has a question. We'll go to some questions right now. Why are the property prices in areas only showing up halfway? They're cut off. Can you go show that again, Blake, so we can see?
Let's see. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think they just have it like abbreviated here, right? So
I think that's what it is too, because it's in some areas when they're really close together.
And
you really can't see all of it, right? You have to zoom in specifically.
We see kind of like just a preview of it. 2.1, 1.6.
Yeah.
2.5.
But when you zoom out, obviously everything's all in one place, right? So
right.
While you're showing that, how do you send a personalized KW app link to clients? We'll show you, Gary. That's super easy. There's also a little hack that we use to make sure that you don't lose that link. So we'll get to that as well. Now, let's go into this a little bit deeper, Blake, because now that we've got the consumer app going and we've got our clients searching for property, let's take a look deeper and say, okay, well, what if they favorite something? What happens then? And what's that feed for, right? So let's take a look at that. Let's favorite some homes here.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to click on a few different homes here. Okay, this one looks amazing. So I'm going to go and heart that. Let's do a new collection.
Cool.
What should we call this one?
Where's it at? Put it Dream Homes. Put Dream Homes. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
I
easy.
like it.
Dream Homes.
So we're going to save that, create a new collection. We're going to call that Dream Homes. Add it to the collection. And we could even leave notes about this one, maybe some details on the property that we liked.
Nice.
This one just has a nice style to it.
Liking it.
All right, then we can kind of keep searching for homes. Kind of just do the same thing, right? Where we're just coming in, favoriting the ones that we like here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then now, okay, when we have this kind of saved category, we now have this collection that we're like constantly cultivating, all right? So at any point, we could come back and see these homes that we're looking at. Now, something that is really cool about this now is that we can actually add a collaborator to this collection. So if we're on the app, kind of saving homes going through, we hit more and hit add a co-buyer. We can now invite somebody with us to our app to share, these different collections, right? The dream home, the, Blake's favorites, whatever this may be, right? And then you have two people making comments, going back and forth on different homes. It's just a great way to connect there. And then as we're kind of going through this process, right, maybe we're going down the guide, as different parts of the home buying process start. Start your search, get pre-approved, tour homes, right? Under this feed, what you were talking about here, this is where it's all going to kind of cultivate. Think about this as the same as a Facebook newsfeed. So for anything that's happening, maybe our agent sends us a saved search for some properties we might like.
Mm-hmm.
We start a collection. Maybe our co-buyer adds some comments to our collection. Mm-hmm. Our agent moves us down the list in the guide. We're going to see all those updates populate on this feed, just like a timeline.
That feed, Blake, thank you for bringing that up, because that feed is going to be more important than you think. So one of the conversations I had with Gary yesterday, I said, so Gary, tell me about the feed. He's like, Tristan, that's probably the most exciting feature that we've got coming out. And I said, dude, is it okay if I tell everybody? He's like, I'm talking to you about it because everybody should know about it. I'm like, okay, good. He's like, everything I tell you is fair game. I'm like, I love it. So he says,
look at these amazing trade secrets right now. I can't believe it.
dude, so he said, here, let me take out my notes, because that to me blew my mind, and it blew Nick's mind because we were both on at the same time. He said that feed is going to work like a social media feed. We envision that feed being exactly like a social media feed. So whether it's news that's related to real estate that comes from Keller Williams or that comes from you, whether it's a video from you where you interviewed somebody local, you're going to be able to upload it directly there and kind of have your own social media channel within your own app. So let's say Blake decided to interview somebody, corner restaurant in Beverly Hills there, because he's in Beverly Hills, and he starts saying, you know what, I'm going to interview everybody in Beverly Hills, whether it's an article that I'm going to write up or a video. And now he can upload it to the feed so his clients can see that video. Now it's his own show, or other people can say, you know, I love Blake's video. I'm going to use it in my feed as well. And so that all of a sudden opens it up like an actual social media feed. And that's going to be pretty powerful, because then it individualizes your feed. So right now, the way that we're using it is, I'm sorry, go ahead, Blake, you were going to say something?
No,
All
please.
right. The way that we're using it is like this. So when we get a lead that comes through, Facebook lead or wherever they're coming from, if they're an online lead, chances are they're not ready now. So we're calling them up and we're saying, hey, Blake, thanks for visiting our website through Facebook. I know you're probably not going to purchase anything anytime soon, but I noticed you were looking in the Santa Monica area, and I don't want to send you homes you don't want to see. So can you tell me a little bit more about what you're looking at? They're like, yeah, let me tell you. They start going along those lines. You ask the right motivating questions to find their motivation. And then they'll tell you, yeah, you know, we're a few months out. I said, Blake, awesome. I love it. Do me a favor though, if you do find that you have questions and you can't get a hold of me in regards to this whole process in the app, right? And you've downloaded the app, right? If not, let me send you a link to it. There's a section there that's called Feed. And in it, for buyers, you can see what the next steps are. And I've designed it so you can see it. So if you have questions, those will answer all your questions. And once you're ready, you can go there and say, got it. I know what's next. I know what's next. And this way it's all outlined for you. So this is how we've been using it, Blake, which I think is a lot more powerful, because most of the leads that we're getting from Facebook and Google are a lot longer out, right?
For sure, right? And that's why it's so important to like solidify that connection. And that's why I think the feed is probably, you're right, it's one of the most important parts, right? We're constantly staying top of mind, kind of keeping that emotional proximity. So even though they're not ready now, by the time that they are ready to buy in, a year, you're the agent that they're going to go to.
You got it, buddy. You got it.
That's so
I
cool.
love that, dude.
And
all right. What else is next?
Yeah, so actually it's kind of like along those same lines, right? Where this app, it kind of just goes beyond a regular home search, right? It's really about communicating with the agent and being a part of the entire process. So, when we have our guide here, where we're outlining every single step, start your search, get pre-approved, tour homes, this is really the entire real estate transaction, not just the home search. And so I really love this new feature that they added in here. And I think it's a great little value add for our clients. So it's under the More section. And so we see here, we have some tools, Keller Covered, Keller Mortgage, and we've had these. But the new one is this affordability calculator. So if we come in here, right, we type in annual household income, monthly debt, our credit score, make these adjustments, choose what our down payment's going to be, our loan type, and then we can actually see, right, what we can get pre-approved for, a recommended price. And now this is like my favorite part here, right? So based on the parameters that we set, we can slide this bar at the top. So, if we want a more affordable house, what kind of range we would be in versus, a more aggressive approach, that's what we could afford on the high end. And so now that I kind of have this number in mind, right, I could absolutely go start my home search. And then right at the bottom, I could start the pre-approval. And then that's going to take me to Keller Mortgage. So it's this great tool now, kind of just incorporated into our app to start that conversation off.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't even know that that's there, man. So I love that you showed that, because that's a prominent thing. When we visited the Google headquarters and Google was going over the most important searches that home buyers make, because Google has a real estate department as well, they said that the number one thing people end up searching for when they're closer to purchasing a home is a calculator for their mortgage. And so that's really important, really, really important. There are some questions here for you. Okay, yes, this is a really good question that we get a lot. Jack, is the login to KW app different from your command login? Blake?
Yes, yeah, it's going to be different. Okay, so the KW app is just 100% consumer facing. So as the agent, there's nothing for you to really manage there. So if you're going to go into the KW app as an agent, you kind of have to take off that agent hat and sign up with just your email and another password.
Perfect. All right. Sherry has a question. So does Kayleen. Let's go to Sherry first. My son uses the app. He tries to share properties with me that he's interested in. When he sends me the text of the link from the app, it never shows the property. When I open it, it shows a general map of my hometown area.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, this is actually something that we just heard of in these groups as a known issue. That's something that's being worked on. So if it hasn't been taken care of already, look for a change to that very soon.
That is definitely coming for sure. We talked about it to them as well, and they know. Now, Kayleen has a question, and it's the same question that Jacob had, which was this one. And maybe we can kind of search and see what we find right now, kind of on the spot, Blake. Kayleen says, I have the same question as Jacob. There are at least 2 properties I have searched that will not show up in the app, but are on the CRMLS. What do you think the possible issue is there?
Not for sure, right? I think this kind of goes back to even the same issue that we're having with like when you're texting that link out and then it's bringing you to the page where it's just the list. So the listing is somewhere on that map, right? So the bug was just in having that pull up. So it's the same issue where we're typing in an address and we're not getting it to come up exactly. That's the bug that they were working on and is one of the bigger priorities right now with the app.
Got it. And that goes along as well with what I said at the very beginning. Sometimes we have challenges with MLSs, right? So we're in the process of fixing that as well. Now, some people may notice that sometimes this is not as prevalent as it was before because now the app's been out for a while, but your app may not work like you want it to work, and sometimes it may crash. What I suggest highly is that you delete the app and then re-download it, because sometimes it doesn't download correctly. It's software, right? Sometimes it doesn't catch. So it's supposed to work all the time, obviously, but there are some apps that you may have to delete and re-download. So try that. Blake, let's go back into it, buddy.
Okay, cool. And so on kind of that same note, right, I want to kind of look now on the agent side to see kind of what they're seeing from command. So I'm going to go to the dashboard, right, and then sign in now using the agent login. And so then right away, right, we'll see that there is going to be, let's see, a notification here, hopefully for a new registration. And then what I want to do is kind of dive into the settings of what we have. So I'm going to open up the consumer tab. All right, so all the way down at the very bottom of the applet list here. And we're
all right, on the left, consumer, easy.
Exactly, right. And so now this is the new part. So I want to go to Guide Builder, actually. I want to take a look.
Guide Builder. Oh, look at that. Boom.
Easy enough, right? So we have our 2 templates here, right, for a buyer's guide and a seller's guide. Mm-hmm. And so I want to kind of make an adjustment here, right? So we just added this affordability calculator. So I'm going to go into my buyer's guide. I'm going to edit this, right? We see all these steps that we were just looking at inside of the app. And all the way at the bottom, okay, I'm going to hit add a step.
Okay.
And then you see at the top, you have two options, right? So it's either create a custom step or we can set a default step.
Cool.
So instead of, making my own right here, what I want to do is actually click select a default step and then choose from this list. And so right now it's just this one, it's what can I afford? So I click on this card and hit continue. And now we have a new step to our guide that kind of points them towards the affordability calculator. So I could, rearrange this. I'm going to drag it all the way up to the top.
Oh, how easy is that?
Super easy. Save changes. And now I have this new step added to my guide. So whenever, the first step is now ahead of starting your search is pointing them to that affordability calculator, which, in turn, maybe hopefully turns them on to Keller Mortgage, kind of showing all these different tools off that we have.
Can you go through that really quick again, just so people know how to create one?
Definitely. Okay. So inside of the consumer tab, right?
Yeah.
So we have landing pages, agent site pages, and then a guide builder. So this is where we're looking.
Okay.
Okay. And then under my buyer's guide here, I'm going to click edit.
Okay.
And then just right at the bottom, right, we're going to hit add a step.
Click it.
Click add a step.
Yep.
And rather than create a custom step, okay, we're going to choose this other option here, create a default step.
Okay.
And then from this menu, we're going to see what can I afford.
Okay.
So I have it right here. So I already added it in here, but
Easy.
you'll see this on the drop-down menu, and then you can add it into this
What if we create a custom one? Take me through that little process.
Definitely, yeah. So it's super easy, right? We add a step, and then all we have to do is kind of come up now with a card title.
I know which one.
Let's do it. What do you got?
Buying a home during COVID-19.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect. Except type buying instead of buyer, but that's okay.
I got you.
I'm here for you. I'm here for you.
Thank you. Oh man.
That's my job. You do the tech. You
Yeah.
do the tech and I do the talk, right?
That's it.
You're the tech guy. I'm the talk guy.
All right. What do you have?
Sure that says that. Oh, that's so good. All right, go ahead.
All right. What do you got for the card subtitle?
Card subtitle, say, you don't have to stop buying a home during COVID-19. You just have to take the necessary precautions, something along those lines.
COVID-19, you just have to take the necessary precautions. I love that.
Yeah, pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
And then we can find a nice.
Just got exposed.
Oh.
There we go. I spelled it right, I swear. You have to take necessary steps. How'd you end it?
The necessary precautions.
There we go. Precautions. All right. And then we're going to use a card image to go along with it, right? And so if we're trying to pull in an image, where do you think I can get a stock image from?
Let me think. Pexels?
What a great idea, right? So exels.com. All right, we're going to look for, a stock image just to throw in that spot.
Healthcare. Let's just type in hospital or healthcare.
Let's see, seen any that pop out at you?
I kind of like the first one on the corner, top left. Yeah, that one's kind of cool.
Cool. All right, we'll click on it, right? We'll hit free download. So this goes onto our computer.
Easy.
Okay. And then just back over inside of the guide builder. Okay, I'm going to drag this over and then drop that app space.
I like it. I like it.
Boom, boom. We got those 3 steps in. We're going to hit continue.
Okay.
And now we have a new card added to our guide.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
How sexy is that?
I was going to say that looks crazy professional. I'm about it.
Dude, and we just came up with it on the fly too.
That's good stuff. You can totally modify this, right? Like, you can make this as personalized as you want for your clients. And I think this is really kind of a key piece here. And as this kind of grows and evolves, we're just going to have more capabilities here, and it's going to be even more valuable.
I love it, dude. Yeah, this is probably going to be the most powerful place you're going to be able to work your customization on your app. This is where you will be able to stand out, right?
Check it out.
And that's according to Gary too. So Hold on, let's see. Got some questions. How do I get a copy of the KW Los Angeles logo behind Blake? Blake, you made such a nice logo. It says KW LA on the back.
You know, you want to know what I did? I went into designs in KW Command, and then I took the generic KW logo, and then I just wrote Los Angeles under it.
I have a feeling that's going to be a 5-minute educational clip that we're going to do.
Making logos?
Yeah.
100%.
All right, so stay tuned for our big release in the next 2 weeks. That should be really fun. All right, Blake, show me what else we've got on the back end here. After people have messed around with the app, after the consumer has and they favorited some stuff, I want to see that on the back end, right? I want to see that on command. How does that look?
Definitely. Okay, so let's go ahead and just jump into the contacts tab now.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I can sort by last visited, to see who's been recently in the ecosystem on the site. All right, and so I see one right here. This is us that we just created. So we see the name come in, Blake Petska, the email that they signed up with.
Love it.
See on the right side, inside of this timeline, right, we see the homes that they've been favoriting, the homes that they've been, kind of clicking around on. And we see their activity, as they navigate around the app. And then at any point, right, we can click on these and kind of get an insight of the exact homes that they're favoriting.
Dude, love that. Super easy.
So easy, right? And then the best part is, right, so we can actually use the save search function, right? So if they've kind of given us some criteria, we've been in conversations with these people, we go to the save search tab, create a save search. Maybe we can call this one, Malibu single family homes.
Easy.
All right. We search for some neighborhoods or some zip codes. Let's go ahead.
9002. Oh, go into the neighborhoods if you want. Find on map is much better.
That's what I was going to do, right? So I don't know all these neighborhood names, so I'm going to click find on map. And then I'm just going to go and zoom in on that area that I want. So let's go and just zoom into Malibu. Then we see we have all these different neighborhood boundaries here.
Cool.
And so I'm actually just going to click on a few of these.
West Malibu, Point Doom. I love those areas.
Boom. And so now we have a nice little collection, right around the area that we know that they're interested in. Then from there, right, we're just setting criteria, whether that's price, going from maybe 1 to 4 million.
Cool. So far,
right.
So good.
Any keywords, property types, specifying the bed bath count.
Yep.
Even going down as far as whether or not they have parking or the price has been reduced in the last 7 days. These little toggles here at the bottom.
Like that.
All right, and then we hit create, and now we have the save search, kind of set up for this contact. And on the consumer side, this is now just another kind of thing they can go through on their feed, as well as on that little save tab.
So when they save this, if they do this on their own, right? And obviously if we're not the ones doing this, do we get a notification when they've saved properties or when they've created searches? How does that work?
Definitely. So we won't get a notification every time they look at a property, right? But if they do create a save search, that's when we'll get a notification. When they set up a video tour, that'll be a notification as well. And so there are kind of those little indicators. But I think, right, the best way to go, and you've mentioned this before, is, right, we're filtering our database by last visited. That way we can see who's, recently, kind of digging around looking at homes.
That's very true, man. I love it. All right, I'm answering some questions, and I got one for you here that's important to this. So let's talk about the KW app link.
Okay, perfect.
How do I find it? And what do I do with it after I find it?
All right, very cool. I love that question. All right, so first we should talk about finding it. All right, so we're gonna go back to that consumer tab that we were looking at before.
Right there, easy, consumer tab on the left, almost at the bottom. There we go.
Then we're gonna go top right corner. We're gonna check out our site and app settings.
Figures, it says app settings.
Easy enough, right? And then the last step is just to look at URLs right here.
URLs, all right.
Consumer, site and app settings, URLs.
That's 3 steps.
3 steps, not too bad.
Nice.
And now we see right here, we have this app URL. Okay, so we can actually copy this.
Okay.
And I'll bring it over into a new tab here. This is going to be our personalized landing page that we can send to people to download our app, right?
This is how it looks with our picture.
Exactly, right. It's personalized to us. It's got these, links to go download from the App Store. You have a little preview video talking about the app and, highlighting a few features of it. And so when your clients click this app or, they send themselves a link, that's how we're going to automatically attach ourselves through the app. That way they don't have to go in and do the find an agent part, right?
Yep.
All right. So now, we're talking about what we're going to do with this. All right. Okay. So something I want to do real quick. I hope it doesn't take us too off track, but it's customizing that app URL, right? Maybe you want a little bit more personalized. So what I want to do with this, it's actually, so I want to go through GoDaddy and I want to get a custom domain and then actually forward that domain here. So it's super simple, right? If I just open up GoDaddy.com, do you have any domain sites you have as like a go-to?
Let's think of a new one. I mean, Dream Living app, Find Your Dream Home app, right?
Dream Home app, something like that, right?
Let's try that. Find Your Dream Home app. I'm pretty sure it's long enough that it's available. Boom.
It's available, right? So something like that. And then we just have to add that to the cart, okay? And so I cheated. Okay, so add this to the cart, check out. I did already ahead of time just go and buy this just to make sure I had it. So I did buy dreamlivingapp.com.
We were along the same lines.
We were along the same lines there for sure, right? And so this is kind of our starting point. So all I did was buy the domain and then I just kind of paused here. So when we see this, right, next steps, we hit the drop down. We're looking to use my domain. All right, this is how we get it set up. And so they have the options to build a website, get an email address, but all I want to do is actually just forward this to an existing web page. This is like the easy version of this, right?
Yep.
All right, so then it's going to ask me to choose my destination. None of these, right? I'm actually just going to forward to a different site, and I'm going to paste in that URL that we just copied from our command page.
I love it.
Hit next, hit finish. It's applying changes, and we're now good to go. So it might not happen right now. It might take a little bit to kind of get configured here, but dreamlivingapp.com, yeah, exactly. It's probably going to be just a little bit before it goes live, but that's then
about 10, 15 minutes usually.
All right, but then that will redirect us to the custom landing page that's going to allow us to download the Dream Living LA app totally seamlessly.
Perfect, dude. I love that. All right, let's go back to this app URL settings. Copy that. And so people don't lose it, you show a hack that's on your main page here on command. So take us through that.
Exactly, right. So we have this copied on our clipboard. I go back to my dashboard. And then we can just kind of scroll through this dashboard here, and we're going to come across this notepad. And so I think that this notepad is just an amazing place to kind of keep these hot links that we're going to every time. So I'm just going to go and paste my app URL and then click off so that it's always saved here. So if I ever need quick access to it, I'm just agent.kw.com, and then I have it ready to go.
Easy. You could copy, paste, and send it to your friends or your sphere, past clients, whoever you want. Now, you did something on that contact. I think it was on your own. When we went to contact, it was Blake. And you saved a search for Malibu, right?
Right.
Did you finish saving that or no?
Yes. Yeah, we got that right there.
All right. So here we go. He saved, it's called Malibu SFH, right? 1 million to 4 million, 2 bedrooms or more. Now, when he saves it here, it's also going to appear in the app for our clients, right? For that specific client. And once he saves it there, Blake, does the consumer also get an email or, okay, good. They also get an email as well. This way it's there. My suggestion is if you are going to save home search for them, then I would also text them and let them know that you've done it and they can find it on the app, right? So can you show us your app and how it looks now that you've made that search as well?
Definitely, yeah. So let me pull this up. Screen mirror. All right, so regular search app, right? But then now under the Save tab where we were saving our collections.
Yeah, and the little heart.
Exactly, right. We now have a recent saved search for Malibu homes, 1 to 4 million, 2 beds and up.
I love it, man. All right. There we go. You're zooming in. So Blake, somebody says, Diana says, thanks. Still wondering if I'll be able to watch this again later. Oh, yes, Diana, you will be able to. This is being recorded, so this is going to go on our YouTube channel as well. Let me pop that YouTube channel open, and I'll send you the link to it because we do have other KW recordings there as well. And we're going to be going a lot deeper into command. Like I said, we're launching a whole course and lessons that you're going to be able to subscribe to, where we're going to go super deep in command and give you lots of content as well. So Diana, there's the link, and perfect. Oh, Karen says Dream Living app is now working. So once we have the saved search working, we can go and check that out.
Something's too specific here. It's blocking it out.
Yeah, there's not enough. You're not giving it enough to choose from.
Not enough parameters there.
See, that's why you stick to Hollywood, right?
Exactly, right.
Let me stick to Malibu.
Much more manageable listings, right?
Yeah, you're giving it too little of a criteria. When the average price in Malibu is $3 million, you have problems.
Exactly.
All right, dude. Take a look at the website dreamlivingapp.com so people can see what you can do as well.
Perfect. So let's see, go dreamlivingapp.com.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, there we go.
Oh, it's not working. You know what? It's probably saved. Your cache is saved, so it's not remembering. So you might have to delete your cache or go to incognito window.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna go incognito.
Yeah. One more try.
Livingapp.com. And there we go. Perfect.
There we go. Boom.
See, not hard at all.
Dude, I love it. People will definitely have questions on that, so we have to go deeper on that next time.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. But kind of just that idea there where we're taking that app URL, trying to just get creative on how we package it so we can send it out to as many people as possible.
Yeah, and remember, the consumer app is only for the consumer, right? It's not for agents. You won't be able to go to the back end. There's no CRM back end for agents. So it's only for the consumer. This is why you can't log in with your KW username and password on the consumer app. If you want to look at the consumer app, you're going to have to log in like a consumer, right?
Exactly. If there's one thing you take away from this webinar, it should be that.
Yes, that's probably the biggest challenge because most people get stuck on that first window saying, I can't log in because my KW login doesn't work, and it won't work. It will never work. So a couple of questions and then we'll wrap it up here, man. Tracy is asking, is editing the app landing page coming anytime soon? Tracy, editing the landing page is something that they're looking to do later next year, so not anytime soon. That's something that's not of pressing matter, like what we're doing with the texting so that it actually works correctly and shuts off, lead routing. Those are the important things that they're working on. The editing of the app landing page will be able to be more customizable, but that's until much later. Scott, can you push out the app to default to the saved search we made?
Best way to do that, right? The email that they get is going to have the link that leads them exactly to that.
Cool, cool. Bridget says, can you save an area on the app or only on a home?
Let's see. Save it.
So she
Yep.
wants to know if you can save an area on the app instead of just the home.
Oh,
Favorite an area, boom, instead of favorite a home. No,
gotcha. Yeah, no.
can't do that. Bridget, that is such a good idea though.
I like that.
I'm writing that down because that was really good.
Especially because we have like the draw feature, right? So if we could like kind of take those areas and save them, I'm a fan of that.
Dude, also, I mean, you could save those little areas that next door makes for us, right?
Exactly. Like have like
I wanna save all of West Malibu there and Point Dune.
Exactly.
Dude, loving that. Bridget, you get the golden star and the chocolate cookie. That's a great idea. Let me write that down.
Yeah, probably the closest thing would be the monthly neighborhood nurtures. Right.
Yeah, but that's on the back end, right? That's on command. You have to log in.
Exactly. And so like in that same kind of like concept, they should be able to subscribe to certain neighborhoods through the app. So yeah, I don't think that that's like a stretch at all. I like that.
Yeah, I love that. And then I think we've got enough time to do one that Emily wants. So let me just answer this. Maria, can I take my consumer app link and take it to an email to send it to the consumer? 100% email it to them. What we suggest is you actually make it part of smart plans, or you can use KW smart plans that already includes that whole process. So any new lead that comes through, attach that smart plan, and part of it is sending them that app. So we have a whole section on that where we went through smart plans. I think we even show that as well. So Blake, I'd like you to show Emily what she's asking because it's a good thing to do. Emily says, can you review the savings, the area again on the command side of things?
Sure.
And how do you get to selecting the areas? Let's wrap up with that. I think it's a good one.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'm definitely good with that. Right. So let's go to command. All right. And then let's see, I'll just go and sign in under myself here. Boom. Okay. So we're going to go to that contact section and then we're going to pull up any given contact. They're all going to kind of work the same here.
Cool, cool.
So we're going to pull up my guy Gil here. All right. And then we're going to go under the save search tab.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Create a save search. And then, after you title it, right? Let's say, we can say this is Gil's houses. And what the question you were asking, I'm pretty sure, is to select the areas, right? Rather than searching for the neighborhoods, we're going to hit find on map here.
Oh,
All
wait.
right.
Hold on. I'm still seeing your other window here.
No. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That whole time?
That whole time.
All right, here we go. So we're on the contacts card, right?
All right, we went to a contact. We're going to use Gilad.
Exactly, right. So we're going to go save search.
Save search, easy. Create save search.
Okay, perfect.
So far, so good.
All right, so then we're going to type in a little name here, Gil's houses. All right, and then for the location, all right, so this is what you're asking. So rather than searching for the neighborhood here, we're going to click find on map.
Mm-hmm.
We have this section here, so we can actually zoom in now, or just go and type in the search bar. But we go to the areas that we want until we see these little blue boundaries. And then we're just going to click on these different neighborhoods that we want to subscribe them to.
Boom. Easy. And the reason we do that is because we go to the map. It makes it a lot easier to find these areas because we don't always know what the name of the areas are. Unless you already know the areas because you've been doing it a long time, I suggest you go to the map first.
Right, like unless they're like specifically telling you this is the neighborhood I'm looking for, it's probably best to look at it this way. Otherwise, you might be leaving some gaps.
Agreed, agreed. You know, that's funny that you zoomed in on that area. Mid-city there, the little check one that says on the top, that one. That's where the Wailopo headquarters is. It's so funny.
No kidding. Okay.
Anyway, just side note.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So once you choose those areas, you set the other criteria and then hit create. And then now you have a safe search, kind of locked in for this client. And this is the cool part. So even if they're not, connected to you on your app yet, sending them this safe search is a great way to kind of introduce that. So they get that email and then they're then prompted to open up your website, but then that then eventually leads them to your app. So the safe searches are a great kind of starting touch point for this as well.
All right, I love it, dude. All right, let's wrap it up here. What do we want to talk about next week?
Okay, up to you, right? We can do a topic, or I was thinking we could do a command Q&A. Just kind of going off. I did one. It was a lot of fun. People got a lot out of it, I think. So I think
why don't we do this?
Okay.
Start with something super simple that we can get through 10 minutes of, right? And we know a lot of things that we can do there.
Yeah.
And then we can go into Q&A, because then the questions will start coming in.
I like that.
So what's something easy that we can start with that people will have a ton of questions on, and then expand from there? I'm thinking either smart plans, right?
Yep.
Or Facebook lead ads, right?
That's exactly where my mind went to. I'm good with either of those.
All right. So I'm thinking.
You haven't done in a while.
Which one?
Smart plans.
I think so. It's been a while since we touched on them.
It's time to circle back.
All right. So I have a question for those of you that are still on here. We had over 100 people still on, so that's good. Most of you haven't abandoned us yet. Quick question here for you, but we need an answer, both on the Command Facebook page and on the webinar side of this. So Blake and I are creating this whole brand on teaching courses and outlining the lessons and creating actual content for you, like drips and designs and just amazing things that we've come up with together. And the brand is Command Set Go. That's what it's called. So Command Set Go. And we're releasing it in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And we're between prices here because we've outlined all this. We're putting our heart and soul into it. And our price is about $49 for this. We have beginners, intermediate, teams, brokerage, and we keep on adding every week to it. So what do you guys think of pricing at $49, where you're receiving the content, downloadable content, step-by-step processes for everything on Command? And obviously, we're always going to bring you the latest because, I'm always talking to Gary. So, there's that. For the entire thing and the continual updates every week, we're looking at $49. Is that a good price? Yes or no? I need a yes or a no, because we're going to go with a month, $49 a month. You get everything, content, downloads, and obviously the lessons. All right, perfect. So sounds good for I don't hear a no. So I hear a yes. Roxanne, there is a free version of this. We're always going to do the free videos, always. And they're always going to be part of this. But when we need to go deeper, it's going to be $49 a month. Oh, dude, hands down. All right. So in the next 2 weeks, we're going to release this. You're going to be able to download all the stuff that we create, whether they're drips or actual pieces that you can use on social, presentations, everything. Good. All right, Blake, it's good, man. Let's continue to finish this up. We'll have this ready to go. Thank you so much again for your support, Blake. Let's guess on what hat Blake will wear next week.
I'm going to switch it up. We'll see what happens.
I got to think. Anyways, Blake, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. Always a pleasure, Tristan.
Thanks, buddy. Bye.